Hi, in today's video, you're gonna learn how to completely respect yourself and put yourself first in situations. Just learn to completely value yourself and how important you as an individual are. So let's get right into it. I think personally for me, with a lot of friendships, relationships, interactions with people I've had, I wouldn't value myself or I wouldn't put myself first. And this goes back to one of my other videos that I made and about person pleasing, but I'm not going to talk about that today because I talked about that in that video. So if you want to learn about how you can stop person pleasing, watch that video. I think it'll really help. But in this video, I want you to understand the importance of respecting yourself and valuing who you are. And with past relationships, like I said, that I've had, I valued other people more because I wanted them to feel comfortable. I wanted them to feel safe. I wanted them to be happy. And if you know me, like personally know me, I just want the best for people. Like I always have, I think I always will deep down. As much as putting yourself first is such a big step, it's so important to understand that if you can't put yourself first, then it will affect your relationships sexually, not sexually, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, you will get affected by situations, experiences that you have. And I think sometimes, as much as what we do in our lives and we want to have an impact on other people, they have to want to accept it. And it's like you're giving advice to someone and they're agreeing, and like they might genuinely agree because they know what you're saying is right. But if they don't willingly take the advice that you give them because of whatever reason, like they're still dealing with what they're doing. And I've been through that. Like I have been given advice too, and I know that it's true, but sometimes like I just don't believe it 100%, and I still proceed to do whatever I do. And learning this was such a important, um thing, because when you're giving advice to someone or taking advice to someone, it comes from experience. When you are, going through something with someone and then you eventually like you cut it off, like you're done with this person, or someone in your life has treated you badly and then you get advice on that and you're like, dang, like that hits hard, like I understand. Or like when you hear a quote and you're like, oh yeah, like I understand that, it comes from a place of understanding and knowing what they're talking about. Now some people will just like randomly give you advice and it like won't make sense, or like they don't care, they just want to like say something. But I think understanding that when someone gives you advice about putting yourself forward, doing things that are good for you, it comes from a place from them. I think, in my opinion, it comes from them in the past not putting themselves first and not doing those things. And they learned it. They learned it the hard way. They learned it by failing and getting up, failing and getting up. And you have to fail. You have to go through these hard things in life for you to come out and give advice. And when you're learning about how to put yourself forward, that goes for all the other videos that I've made. This is like the cherry on top. Putting yourself first is like I think such an important aspect of simply being grateful for what you have and staying positive and what you want in your life and the habits that you have. It all ties in together with putting yourself first. Because if you feel the need to look a certain way or dress a certain way or talk a certain way, do certain things for a reason, that reason should simply just be for you. And it's sometimes so hard in our society. Like I get it, because like especially like Gen Z, um it's very difficult because you kind of grow up in a society where you feel the need to do it. You feel the need to get the new iPhone or to, get a certain brand, shoes, clothes, whatever it is. And when I say put yourself first, it comes before all these stuff. But understanding that is so important. Like the trends that we see on social media, we know they have an effect on how we view our life. Like you might not even like something that's like trendy and you're like questioning why it's trendy and then still get it because you know that you will fit in or look better or whatever. Putting yourself first, not only with the society, the trend, this, all that stuff that I'm trying to say, but it also comes from, like I said, the relationships and making, like how I said at the very beginning of the video, like I was always a person to put people first so that they can feel comfortable, they can feel safe. But it's like, how do you feel? You know, like energy and frequency is so important. Like you can sense energy when you are hanging out with someone. Like, why do you call your best friend your best friend? Like genuinely, think about it. Like why would you? You know? And it comes from the feelings that you get from them, the comfort. You feel safe, you feel that you can trust them. Like it's energy, it's frequency, it's you know, you could even consider your best friend someone that you've met in 2 months. And you can say that about someone you've met in 10 years because you've gained that trust. But how to connect this with putting yourself first is that you need to understand what is bothering you. Like when you feel the need to get upset and have these emotions that are negative and that aren't, you know, like when you're hanging out with someone and you don't want to be there, why don't you want to be there? You know, like you go home and you feel drained. I've noticed this in my life with people from the past that made, like I would go home and I'm just like, why did I even hang out with them? And maybe they were school friends, you know? Sometimes you feel the need to talk to people outside of school because they're your school friends. And honey, you don't. You 100% don't, but you feel the need to because you want to fit in. And sometimes, you know, it can affect not just your relationships, but it affects how you view yourself because you're like, I am putting myself through this and I feel responsible to be in this relationship with them because of, it could be so many reasons, God, like it could be you feel the need to be in the relationship with them so that they feel comfort, so they don't hurt themselves, so that you don't feel left out, so that, like, I can go on about the reasons why you want to stay in a situation, but it doesn't just go for friends. It goes for everything. It goes for your job, your career, where you live. Sometimes, obviously, like that financial aspect can have a big toll on the decisions that we make. Most of the time, it does. But also, that other percent that's very close up to the financial part is the fear of change and the fear of not knowing the unknown. And you have to, like, for you to grow and for you to want better for yourself, you have to want to change, because how are you supposed to change if you're in the same place? Like, think about it. Like, you want this better life, but you don't want to change, and you don't want to change your habits. And that to me just seems like you don't want it bad enough. And eventually it will come. Eventually you're going to want it bad enough. Eventually you're going to want that change, and it doesn't matter how scary it is. You're going to want it because of the circumstances that you're living right now, the lifestyle that you have, the habits. For me, that came from, I was just getting so fed up with other people's BS. Like I hate when people talk shit. When people are talking negatively about other people, or they're just always complaining about something, it makes me feel like shit. And it did. It really did. And it, you know, like right now, I want people in my life that have goals and want better for themselves. And I have a feeling you do too, because you clicked on this video. But it's like when you start to realize that you are better than this, you're better than the situation, you are better than all the negative stuff, and you have that opportunity to leave, and you don't think about trying to fit in, you don't think about anything else besides who you want to be and your well-being and this lifestyle that you want to create, if those are the only thoughts that are just like wiring your brain, it will force you to move forward. And talking about how our brains are wired is so important. I might just make a whole video on that. But you know, it's a scary thing, but it's also so unique because we grow up with these thoughts and these belief systems that this is the way it is. There's no other answer. This is the way it is. You follow this path, you listen to this person, you do these things, and you'll get to where this person is, you know? And it's not like that. Like once you start to grow up and you have this growth mindset of, wow, like I have the opportunity to do so many things. I have the opportunity to live this life if I want it that bad. You can. And you don't think about the financial part because that will come. If you want the life that you want, don't think about how hard it is to make money or how money is only for, you know, the rich, and the rich is, you know, they got lucky and they did this, because we live in such a diverse like world now where, like, think about it. Think about back in the day, right? Back in the day when like literally talk to your grandparents, your parents, whatever. But, you know, think about even the small stuff like fast food, you know, like there wasn't even fast food. Or, you know, we just see it like, you know, I should first start by saying technology, you know, forget the fast food. I mean, it's incredible what AI has been doing. Like it's actually like you need to take a step back to actually process what's happening. And what's so interesting is that you kind of like it's hard for us to process it because like as stuff is like coming out of the world, like as people, these companies are just coming out like, oh yeah, this is like the new like whatever ChatGPT, this is like this, they are creating stuff, and they are right now they are doing that. And when you think about what you want to do and what is your vision in this world, what do you want to do? Like it comes down to putting yourself first, comes down to what you want to do. Because if you don't like something, that's what you want to do. You want to get out of the situation, you want to change something. What do you want to do? Literally sit back, and I've watched so many videos and they're like, okay, get out a notebook, start writing. And then sometimes, like, so I did that for so long. I would watch these videos, write down what they said, and then I wouldn't even look at it. Like I wouldn't, because I'd go back to like my old routine. I'd go back to the like old habits. I would like not wake up at the time I wanted to or do these habits, and I would write all these stuff down, and I just wouldn't do it. And understanding why don't I just do it? Like this is a life I want, and I keep going back to the habits. And what was stopping me was a part of it was the people in my life. Like, think about it. Like, we hear this time and time again. We hear it all the time. But I was getting blocked because these people that I considered my friends, my school friends, whatever, you know, they were the ones that were stopping me. That can literally go for when you're working with someone. When you're working with someone and you consider them a work, like friend, buddy, whatever, and they have such a negative impact on you at work. It's at work. It's not even at school or somewhere you go constantly. It still has an effect on you, because it does for me. And taking, like, you have to have so, like, it's like humbling yourself in the sense of like, it's like, I deserve better, I'm gonna leave. That is humbling yourself. I think humbling yourself is so important when it comes back to like all the trends and stuff that I was talking about, like wanting to fit in. Humble yourself, do what you want to do, dress how you want to dress, say what you want to say. Like, we live in a world where if you are scared to do what you want to do, it will never happen. And while I was studying business in one of my classes, you know, my teacher, such an amazing guy, he was like inspired me to go into business, honestly. But you know, he said that there's so many people with incredible ideas and thoughts, and they never came out. because people were scared and they had this fear of judgment or that it wouldn't work, or, you know, there's so many things. But you understand what I'm trying to say. And putting yourself first in the sense of like believing in what you want and being proud of that is so important. Like, stand by your shit. Like, literally. If you believe in something, speak on it, talk about it, share it, try to learn more about it, learn about what makes you happy. And if something feels off, it's not just because, you know, the energy is off that day. It is because those are your emotions and that's how you feel. That's genuinely how you feel. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think this is such an important topic. Putting yourself first is such an incredible process, because for so long I didn't, and I am now. Like, I am. And I'm proud to say that, because again, you are not responsible for anyone. You never will be, unless it's a child that you have. You know, your responsibility is for that child. You created them, you brought them to this world. Like, you should have the responsibility for that human being you created. But if you are such an amazing person and you know that you're a good person and you put yourself first, that's not selfish. It never will be selfish. Knowing that you're a good person and still doing that shows how incredibly strong you are and how much better you want your life to be. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something in this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.